Hello, hello, hello. It is Miss J.
And Miss Versatile.
And we're on BigExposedRadio.com at the Shaker Shack. We are live with our baby, Mr. Engineer himself, Mr. Robbie. What's going on, peoples? My peoples?
I'm good. How are you today? How was your day?
I had an excellent day today. How was yours?
It was long, but it was good.
And I don't have pretty much a good, excellent day very so often, so I can honestly say I had a great day. So, what is new in Miss Versatile's world before we get started?
Just been rehearsing for my upcoming play, The Souls Man Souls.
Yes, yes.
It's going to be opening July 25th at College Notre Dame in the Le Cirque Hall. And the July 25th is a Friday, and it show starts at 8 p.m.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We'll be there to support.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. What's going on, Robbie?
Nothing.
I don't like the way that sounds. I don't like the way that sounds, my Robbie.
You don't like the way about sound?
How you sound today?
Oh, what you mean? Like my voice or
Mm-hmm.
You sound down.
You don't sound like yourself.
Nah, I was just asleep.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that explains it.
Listen, we'll give you a pass on that. So, we have, of course, a great show lined up today. We have Mr. David Gallery. Mr. Gallery will be coming on later today. He is a fine art dealer from Pennsylvania.
Your neck of the woods.
Yes, yes. Third generation. That's a lot of art to learn. Third generation. He's also an author and a photographer. And the young age of 65.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking to him about his book, Surviving Through Suicide. So he's going to touch with us about that later. Then we have Mr. David. Mr. David is a musical artist. And I can't wait to talk to him. He has a lot going on. When I say this brother has a lot going on, he has a lot going on. He does music, he does a talk show, he's a motivational speaker, and he's going to be talking with us in the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. So, I had put out our question of today. Did you see it, sis? The question of the day. So, are we going to talk civil, or are we going to talk regular people? Because I think we all have a little bit of civil in us, meaning split personalities. And we're not talking about zodiac signs of Geminis, because we all know some Geminis that are definitely double-sided signs. They are definitely true to their signs. But we're talking about average people like you and I who have what are your personality traits. And that's what I had put out in the universe for everyone. So, personality traits. Do you think men and women have the same? Or is it because of hormonal, it's different? They have different personality traits.
I think that they have different personality traits, but it could be hormonal and it could be gender related. I guess that would also fall under hormonal.
Well, it's what I found that there are 16 personality traits for the average person.
Okay, I've taken personality tests. You know, the introvert, extrovert. I can't remember. I forgot the name of it. Start with an M. There's so many different personality tests out there.
It is. So, the first one is called the duty fulfiller. The duty fulfiller is a serious and quiet, interested in security and peaceful living individual, extremely thorough, responsible, and dependable, well-developed powers of concentration, usually interested in supporting and promoting traditions and establishments, well-organized and hardworking. They will work steadily towards identified goals. That's Janae. That's my daughter. She's a Gemini. This is all her right now. So then we have the mechanic. Quiet and reserved, interested in how and why things work, excellent skills with mechanical things, risk takers who they live for the moment, usually interested in and about extreme sports, uncomplicated in their desires, loyal to their peers and to their internal value systems. But not only are they overly concerned with respecting the laws and rules if they get into any type of trouble or something that they've done. Detached and analytical, they excel at finding solutions to practical problems. That's you a little bit. And I can see that in Robbie also a little bit. You like to find solutions, don't you, Robbie?
Yeah.
You do. I can tell. Quiet, kind, consensuous, can be dependent on to follow through, usually puts needs of others above their own needs, stable and practical. They value
That's me.
security, traditions, well-developed sense of space and function, rich in a world of observations about people, extremely perceptive of others' feelings, interested in serving others. That's me. That's you. I've been called a nurturer a lot of times, so, and I do try to look out for the next person's feelings and put my own in the background. Doesn't work all the time, so, but we have the artists, quiet, serious, sensitive, and kind. They do not like conflict, not likely to do things in which may generate conflict, loyal and faithful, extremely well-developed senses and an aesthetic appreciation for beauty, not interested in leading or controlling others, flexible, open-minded, likely to be original and creative, enjoy the present moment.
I can see part of me in that too.
Me too. The protector. Quietly forceful, original, and sensitive, tend to stick to things until they are done, extremely intuitive about people and concerned for their feelings, well-developed value, systems which they strictly adhere to, well respected for their perseverance in doing the right thing, likely to be individualistic rather than leading or following. That is you, that is me. I know that is definitely me. The idealist. Quiet, reflective, and idealistic, interested in serving humanity, well-developed, value system which they strive to live in accordance with, extremely loyal, adaptable, laid back unless a strongly held value is threatened, usually talented writers, mentally quick, and able to see possibilities, interested in understanding and helping people. That's you.
How many personalities I have? I am multifaceted. I mean, it is so me.
The scientists, independent, original, analytical, and determined, have an exceptional ability to turn theories into solid plans of action, highly value knowledge, competence, and structured, driven to derive meaning from their visions, long-range thinkers, have a very high standards for their performance and the performances of others. Natural leaders, but will follow if they trust existing leaders. I want to say that this is me. The ending definitely is questionable about following others. So, yeah. The thinker. Logically original, creative thinkers can become very excited about theories and ideas, exceptionally capable and driven to turn theories into clear understandings, highly value knowledge, competence, and logic. Quiet and reserved, hard to get to know well. Individualistic, having no interest in leading or following others. That's Robbie. He's a thinker.
Yes, he is.
You agree, Rob?
No?
No? Get off my mic.
All that moaning.
Get off the mic.
Yeah, I guess.
Alright, maybe this is you. The doer.
Nope.
You didn't let me finish. Friendly, adaptable, action-oriented doers who are focused on immediate results, living in the here and now. They are risk takers who live fast-paced lifestyles, impatient with long explanations, extremely loyal to their peers, but not usually respectful of laws and rules if they get in the way of getting things done. Great people skills. That's a little of me.
I'm not really a here and now person, but I'm more of I'm a motivator. Not really I need results here and now, but I like the big picture of the future.
I like that. Well, the Guardian. Practical, traditional, and organized, likely to be athletic, not interested in theory, abstractions unless they see the practical applications, have clear visions of the way things should be, loyal and hardworking, like to be in charge, exceptionally capable of organizing and running activities, good citizens who value security and peaceful living. I could see China a little bit in that.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Ms. Versatile. Sorry. The performer. This might be you, my friend over there. People-oriented and fun-loving, they make things more fun for others by their enjoyment. Living for the moment, they love new experiences. They dislike theory and impersonal analyzations, interested in serving others. Likely to be the center of attention in social situations, well-developed common sense and practical ability. No, that's not you, Rob. You don't like to be in the center.
Nope.
The caregiver. Warm-hearted, popular, and conscientious. Tend to put the needs of others over their own needs. Feel strong sense of responsibilities and duties. Value traditions and security. Interested in serving others. Need positive reinforcement to feel good about themselves. Well-developed sense of space and function. The inspirer. Enthusiastic, idealist, and creative. Able to do almost anything of interest to them. I don't even need to finish. That's me. People skills. Need to live life in accordance with their inner values. Excited by new ideas, but bored with details. Open-minded and flexible with a broad range of interests and abilities. Miss Versatile doesn't seem to get real bored easily. I'm the one out of the two of us that gets... My mind is just always 20 miles an hour is gone thinking about this. Oh, I want to be a train conductor. Let me Google it. How do you become a train conductor? The giver. Popular and sensitive with outstanding people skills. Extremely focused with real concern for how others think and feel, usually dislikes being alone. They see everything from every human angle and dislike impersonal analysis. Very effective at managing people issues and leading group discussions. Interested in serving others and probably place the needs of others above their own needs. Both. No. The impersonal analysis, that's more me than you. Yeah. The visionary. Creative, responsible, and respectful, intellectually quick, good at a broad range of things, enjoy debating issues, and maybe into a one-man-up-manship. They get very excited about new ideas and projects, but may neglect the more routine aspects of life. Generally outspoken and assertive, they enjoy people and are very stimulating in company. Excellent ability to understand concepts and apply logic to find solutions. I want to say it's me, but I also want to say it is you. Because it's one little thing. I get very excited. Generally outspoken. I think I'm a little more outspoken than you.
Definitely.
And the executive. This is you. Assertive and outspoken. Not the outspoken part. Assertive. You're more laid back like Ronnie in the cut. And I'm the more, what's up? In your face.
I'm more reserved.
Yes. They are driven to lead, excellent ability to understand difficult organization problems and create solid solutions. Intelligent and well informed. They are usually excel at public speaking. They value knowledge and competence and usually have a little patience with inefficiency or disorganization. That is me to the T right there.
You said me to the T. Get your baby.
Get your baby. So that's pretty good.
That was good.
For personality traits. I got something on my eyeball?
No, it was me. It was a fly attacking my chest.
Okay. Thought you were nudging me. Okay. So, any of those, Rob, you think fit you?
The thinker.
That's it?
There was a lot of them.
Yeah.
Which one do you think fit you? Because, you know, oftentimes it's hard for you to really look at a list of, like, traits and stuff and to say, that's me, because a lot of times it's not really true. It's what other people see in you. That's the truth most of the time.
Definitely the thinker. You're definitely in that top. Just knowing you, what I know of you. So, you don't seem like the type that will jump off the bridge just because somebody said, hey, let's go try that. Let's jump off the bridge. No, you're going to think and look at your surroundings and think, do I really want to do this? And what am I going to gain out of this?
So I got a question. Do you think these, like, traits or anything have anything to do with zodiac signs?
Say that again. I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, do you think these traits have anything to do with, like, the zodiac sign?
Do the traits have anything to do with the zodiac sign?
I think a lot of these things fall under...
They're all intertwined, I think, some way, somehow.
Some way, somehow, that they are in there because it's so many personalities, it's so many quizzes to take on your personalities that they have to grab it from somewhere. So, but the thing is, when you take these tests, exactly what are you taking it for? To find out what your personality is. Is it to improve yourself? Is it to... Because there's always room for improvement.
Always room for improvement.
So when you take these tests, are you doing it for fun, improvement, curiosity? You know, I think me personally, I think I would take one for curiosity. Number one, just because to see if it's accurate.
Yeah, that's what I take quizzes most of the time.
Because it seems like a computer knows you better than a real person. Because everything is more computerized, that you can just sit on your phone, and the only thing that doesn't do is FaceTime you. Pretty much the computer does everything for you.
Excuse me, guys.
So I would do it for curiosity. Second, I would do it to see if my zodiac is actually compared to the description. And I hope that I'm at a good point in my life that, you know, like I said, the door is always open for improvement. So hopefully it won't be too much that I have to improve on. That I'm pretty much, you know, mid-level.
Yeah.
Now, if you're below mid-level, you got a lot of catching up to do about your personality. Because if you're just mean for no reason, do you know people who are just mean for no reason? Or have you seen
Yes.
people who are just mean
and nasty
for no reason?
no reason,
And get off on it.
and disposition is just fucked up. Not like I said it, fucked up.
Bucked up. I like that.
It just all the time, and there's no reason. Oh my goodness.
Sometimes I feel like because I got, well, today when I was at my job, it's this girl at the site that I went to, and she was kind of she just had an attitude. Like, you'll ask her to do something, she'll be like, no, I don't want to. Can you read that? I don't feel like it. Okay, and I just feel like sometimes they do that for attention.
Just to see, especially if you're in a room full of people. And where my job is, I can tell you, it's a lot of money in this area where I work at. And so everyone likes to go who come in thinking the title that they have gives them the privilege to treat people a certain kind of way. And that's that personality thing, because the title, that's what people go off. A title, a lot of people think a title makes them. A title doesn't make you. It can break you, but it doesn't make you. So when you get into, I am such and such, such and such, such and such, dot, 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 dot. As you know, some people got names and they got titles and titles and titles after the titles. So when is your name going to end after, you know, I'm glad for your accomplishments, but your titles doesn't make the person. You make the person. So when money comes into play, thinking that you're better and you can just talk to people any old kind of way, or that's just your personality. Some people have an aggressive personality type. Some people have a respectful personality type. Some people have a laid back personality type. But then you got that one that's just straight out upped for no reason, and they think, oh, I'm just going to go around and just talk to people like crap just because. That means you're lonely and you're bitter.
Misery loves company.
And insecure about something.
You're insecure about something. So why would you feel as though, hi, how are you today, sir? Like, yeah, in the face. In the face.
Miss J likes the gunshots.
I like the gunshots, baby shots. Well, I haven't found anyone to do the big gunshot yet, but I like the baby shots. So, and the thing is, they think that being this way is cute. It's not cute. it just shows how small you are. That you feel as though I can just come in and I don't want to do this. Well, why don't you want to do this? Because I don't want to. But why are you so angry?
Angry and nasty. Oh my goodness.
Angry and
I know
nasty.
people like that.
And they don't think anything of it, do they?
And
Not at
then
all.
it's kind of like they think you'll keep feeding them the attention they want. But what I do, I just be like, oh, if that's how you want to act, then you can just act that way in your own little corner, and I'll continue with doing what I'm going to do.
Well, here's another personality trait that is very interesting. It's called psychotism, and the psychotism, and this is the criteria for a psychotism. The person is aggressive, impulsive, cold, unempathetic, creative, antisocial, impersonal, egocentric, tough-minded.
Oh my goodness. I know exactly who this is. Repeat those again, please. In our last 20 seconds.
Aggressive, impulsive, cold, unempathetic, creative, antisocial, impersonal, egocentric, tough-minded.
Ooh, child.
So we're ready to take a break. And when we come back, we'll be talking with our special guest, Mr. David Nealer. And
I'm so excited to talk to him.
yes, this is your girl, Miss J,
And Miss Versatile.
with our baby engineer, Robbie, Be Exposed Radio at the Sugar Shack. We'll be back.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
What's up, everybody? We got a special announcement coming right to you from BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, this is Sharon. I'm here to tell you about my show, The Sharon Nixon Show.
What is your show going to be about?
We're going to talk about fashion, life, designers, production, anything under the sun we'll talk about here, including our listeners. We're going to have something special for them as well.
Prizes and stuff?
Oh, prizes. Do you know who I am? I'm the queen of gift bags, okay?
Oh. When would this show air?
Every Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Would there be guests?
Oh, my God, guests. They're going to call in. They're going to be here. Oh, yeah, it's going to be guests.
And what station again will this be on?
BeExposedRadio.com.
Again?
BeExposedRadio.com.
Will those police be here too?
Yeah, they'll be here.
Okay.
Because, you know, I'm down here by the courthouse, so they got to, you know, they got to police the prisoners and stuff.
How can your listeners get in contact with you?
They can dial 855-835-5857. Don't forget to hit extension 1 or else you won't get in. Or you can text us at 443-642-9403.
You are now listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Did you know that birthday parties help build confidence in kids?
Yeah. Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Oh, totally. Did you know that friendly kids have more friends?
Everybody knows that.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Who wants a Western grip? I got my list out. Who wants a Western grip? That's when you're pleasuring yourself. And you turn your hand around so your thumb is facing towards you. It's the same grip that rodeo folks use, hence the Western grip. Let me see. How do you do that? How do you do it, Jason?
You put it towards you.
Oh yeah. Oh Oh, yeah, so you pleasure towards you so that everything splashes on you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that ain't new.
Yeah, that's nothing new. Why do they have to give a name for that? Who wants a blumpkin? You need to find a real tramp to do this correctly. The directions say. It involves having her pleasure you while you're on the toilet. So we were calling that the wrong thing, but that's a blumpkin. Oh. Yeah, you really do have to have a tramp or a woman who really loves you regardless. A blumpkin. Now, we reviewed the donkey punch, right?
One more before we go. One more.
That's when she's on all fours, and right before you splash, you pull out and, violate the third input, and then punch her in the back of the head. Donkey punch. Hey, young Zoe, it makes you not ever want to have sex, right? It makes you treasure your virginity. Because the second a man gives you a donkey punch, you call Miss Wendy. And on that note, we're good to go.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Check out what you missed on the Lady O Show.
To our nutritional program. Our producer is here.
You got a phone call coming in right now.
Okay, great.
Say hello.
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 That's Sharon.
Sharon, hi Sharon. How you doing tonight?
This is not a Sharon. Who's that?
Oh.
She's going to be anonymous. I hate it.
Oh, you're supposed to be anonymous. Okay, I understand.
That's okay. I was really going to play it, but I was like, she probably figured out who you are, Sharon, so just stop. Oh. Hi, how was your first show?
It's great.
Am I live?
Excited.
Am I live?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? So how's your first show?
So far, great. I'm excited and just nervous, but we're going to rock it out. He's making me feel, my producer is making me feel comfortable. So I'm here with him.
That's what he does.
I'm in his capable hands.
Yeah, he'll loosen up in a couple of weeks, so just, I'm warning you, it gets real.
It gets, oh, God. So I'm almost nervous now.
Stay prayed up, man. Stay prayed up.
So I'm going to have to stay prayed up. I'm going to have to go to the altar on a daily basis.
Maybe just take Marty with me.
And I need to put him on the altar.
Oh, you know I'm not going.
Well, you know what? I'm going to take him to church with me. I'm going to get dump some oil on his head.
Well, I just wanted to call because I'm on my way home. I just left my office, and I just wanted to call and wish you congratulatory on your first show.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Okay, it's hot, y'all, so I'm hanging up.
Bye.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Love you too.
Bye.
Thanks a lot for calling in.
And that was Sharon from the Let's Talk show that comes on every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Great. Awesome. So that was great. She checked in on my first show. I feel honored.
So check out the Lady O Show each and every Thursday right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back. This is your girl, Miss Versatile.
Hey, your girl, Miss Cherry.
We're live at the Sugar Shack on BeExposedRadio.com, and we're about to bring our guest in. He is Damon DeReal Naylor. He is a music producer, a songwriter, an artist, an author, a motivational speaker, and a talk show host. Let us welcome our guest today, Damon DeReal Naylor.
Yay! Welcome, welcome.
Well, we're glad to be here, and we thank you guys for the opportunity. It's truly a blessing. Miss J and Miss Versatile, what's going on?
What's going on with you?
You got a lot going on there, brother.
Yes, sir.
Look, everything is going on with me right about now. We're just so busy, and we just thank God for the moment to be with you guys, though, to share with you and your listeners.
Well, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and where you're from, because I know they can hear that you're not from B-More.
Well, I'm originally from New Orleans, but I live at the northern part of the state. And it's a city called Monroe, Louisiana. And I came up here for college. It used to be called NLU, Northeast Louisiana University, but now it's the University of Louisiana at Monroe. And I guess professionally, I'm a former teacher. I was an elementary school teacher, but currently all of the other hats that you mentioned, the aforementioned titles that you gave, that's what we're doing now. I'm a motivational speaker, author, music producer, and talk show host. And on a personal front, I'm a husband and father of 4 sons.
Congratulations. That's a blessing.
Thanks. Yes, it is. It really is a tremendous blessing. Yes.
Well, I wanted to ask you, this is Miss Versatile,
Okay.
when and why did you start playing the instruments that you currently play?
Okay.
And what instruments do you play?
Well, now I pretty much use a keyboard and actually a computer to do most of my production. But when I initially started music, I was actually in elementary school, and I played the saxophone. I played the saxophone for a few years in elementary, and then when I went to junior high and then in high school, I played some more years playing the saxophone. But basically now I use the keyboard for a lot of my tracks that I produce, and that means that I pretty much play all kinds of instruments through the keyboard. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the instrument that I play now. It will be the keyboard, but on it I have to produce my drum tracks and just the cymbals, the kick, the snare, and then the horns and everything else. So it just gives you a chance to play all kinds of instruments, but I use a keyboard, or else I actually use a computer to produce my tracks that I produce. But I started because of a passion. I always loved music. I grew up in a house full of music. My mom, she just listened to all types of genres of music, and I was just exposed to it. And from it, I just developed a knack for it and a love and a passion, and I decided to go after it there.
So, also, as being a music producer, are you actually the MC as well? Are you rapping as well? Is that you as well?
Yes, that's me, and now I'm starting to do some singing as well. I didn't know I had the vocal skills, but hey, God is bringing those forth. I was going to say,
God will use you in ways that you didn't even know you knew He could. So
I'm telling you, He's surprising me.
And I've been listening to a few of your tracks. One of my favorites that I've heard thus far is "Blessed."
Blessed. Okay.
Yeah. And I like 1, 2, 3. I think.
Okay.
Do you see yourself as I don't want to say do you say a Christian rapper or a spiritual rapper? I know you have many hats, but what do you see yourself as?
I guess just an all-around hip-hop or MC or just a rapper, period. I guess I wouldn't want to just say Christian because I know most of my content is Christian-based, but I just don't want to get stuck in that box.
I believe that.
I want to explore just life concepts of life, I guess you would say. Because sometimes when you say Christian, what happens with the Christian audience, if you don't say Jesus 30 times, then it's like, oh no, that's not Christian based. So it's like, well, I'm a Christian, that's my faith, of course, but in my music, I'm going to explore all kinds of concepts that we deal in life. And of course, they're going to be Christian-based concepts, but then there are just some things that might not fall under the Christian umbrella, but they will be positive inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And you're going to be able to reach a variety of audiences with how you're doing it. That's just awesome.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. You know, the Lord has really been dealing with me about the concept of transcendence, which is rising above everything, and like you stated, being able to reach a diverse audience and not just putting yourself in a box and putting limitations on yourself. Right. Because I believe with the different concepts I explore, they'll be relevant to multitudes of people, rather.
So, can you explain, this is Miss J, can you explain to our listeners what made you to decide that you want to do music? And before we do that, we have someone that wants to connect with you.
Okay. Well, like I said, I just decided to do music because I was really passionate about it, and I guess I noticed that I had that natural inclination and some of the skills that were just present, and so we just kind of kept going in that direction. And I know with me actually starting to produce, I started in 99 or 2000, around that time when I first produced my first single and then first produced my first LP. God just had been dealing with me about doing and creating music that would be positive and uplifting. And at that time, they really didn't have a whole bunch of Christian artists. And so I pretty much, I guess, like one of the forefathers or forerunners of the music. But thank God we're still doing it after 15 years now. And we're getting ready to release our 5th project and also a mixtape at the same time. So, but yeah, I basically say it's the passion and the fact that it's just a gift that God has given me. That's what really pushed me into doing it and pursuing it.
Okay. So, you play how many instruments?
Well, like I say, on the keyboard, I play pretty much all kinds of instruments. But basically, when I started, I played the saxophone, and now when producing on the keyboard, I have to use all kinds of instruments, and so it just varies.
And the reason I asked that again is because it's so many people who everything is auto-tuned a lot of the times. So the reason that I asked that question a second time is, why do you think people who play the old school way is a little harder than just hitting a button and let the auto-tune do it? What do you find in this type of generation works better?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. I believe that if you have some musicianship skills and you learn music, then you'll have an unfair advantage, as I would call it, because you know a little more about music, and you can really be even more creative once you know how to play an instrument and you know music. Because a person who just hits that button or hits a few buttons, they don't know, I guess, just the formatting of music. They don't know about bringing in all types of instruments and things like that. They'll just lack some of the knowledge and wisdom you needed, I think, to be a well-rounded producer. And like I stated earlier, I've been exposed to so many types of genres that I can incorporate all of that into my music. But I believe that many people are limited because they might have just been exposed to one type of music. It's like a person who may have just grown up listening to hip-hop. Well, they don't have the diversity to pull from other genres and hear different instruments and different tunes. And it's funny, the type of band that I played in high school was actually an orchestra. And so I got familiar with strings and flutes and, I mean, just all kinds of instruments. And when I produce a track, I can pull all of those various sounds that I hear as opposed to just finding, I guess, what you call samples and just putting all of that together. I can literally create my own sounds. And I think that people who are not familiar with music and don't have experience with music, they can't really do that.
That's understandable. Do you find that this generation right now in music, can it be improved, or do you like it the way that it is?
I believe it's okay. Definitely there's some huge room for improvement. It's especially, I would say, in the hip-hop genre, the R&B genre, because we need some more just inspirational, clean hip hop and R&B. It's not diverse enough. It's very unbalanced. And so basically all you're getting, especially on the radio, the terrestrial radio, you're just getting one-dimensional type of music, and they're just exploring the same concepts, and everybody's reproducing the same thing. But I believe if we were to bring in some variety and just some positive, inspirational stuff, some wholesome things, family-oriented music that can be, hip-hop. You seldomly find that these days. There are very few songs that I could feel comfortable allowing my kids to listen to as far as hip-hop is concerned. And that's what I believe that, there needs to be some more diversity in it, that the children and the family and even the grandparents and the parents could listen to and feel comfortable and can feel uplifted and inspired, as opposed to being degraded and disrespected and having to close your ears and get the kids out of the room, get grandma out of the room so you can listen to something that's not really uplifting.
Understandable. So do you perform in public a lot?
Yes. I perform all over the place. As a matter of fact, I was out your way a few years ago, I think it was about 3 years ago, in Philadelphia there. I had performed at a church. And but yeah, I perform live.
And with you performing live, this will come great with the next question. How do you handle mistakes in your performances?
You just keep on going. That's what you do. It's not like you can stop and say, hold on, let's do it again. Unless you just totally bomb. I was at the beginning of a song, you can possibly start over. But with my experience, you just keep on going. It's just a little glitch, and you just keep on going, because if you stop and you continue to stop and start, it's going to affect the audience. But if you just keep on going, they'll forgive you. Most of the time, the audiences are merciful, and they'll kind of, excuse it. But it just comes with it. I make a lot of mistakes, but I just keep on going, just play it off, and just keep on track with the music. But yeah, you just keep on going.
And so a lot of these questions are really going into what you do on a regular with your shows. So how much practice do you put in to your performances?
Well, I put in lots of time as far as practice, and I guess what I mostly do is just listen to whatever songs I'm going to perform, because each performance is different, and I just get the inspiration and get the songs that I'm going to perform during each performance, and kind of just continue to listen to them over and over, kind of get what I'm going to say to the audience and how I'm going to vibe with them. But I couldn't just tell you, I guess, a certain amount of time, but I know I just prepare, taking hours and hours of just constantly listening to the songs over and over, making sure I got all of the lyrics memorized by heart, so I won't get up and forget anything, because that's a horrible experience there.
A memorable, horrible experience.
Yes, definitely.
So, do you currently teach music?
No, I don't teach music. I basically do it myself. Well, I guess let me correct that rather. I'm actually mentoring some artists as far as helping them to get things recorded and stuff. As a matter of fact, I was producing an artist, Alicia Brazil. We were working with her, and we got 2 songs recorded. Really would like to do a full CD, but we hadn't had a chance to, get that done. But I guess as far as that aspect, mentoring and helping the artists as far as doing the songs and recording and everything, but as far as just teaching how to play music, I haven't been doing. I don't do that part. But I do help with recording and songwriting, those aspects of the music.
This is Miss Versatile. Can you tell us a little bit about your book, what the name of it is, and what it's about?
Okay. Well, I'm about to release A Greater Taste of Success, and as a matter of fact, I need to get both of you guys a complimentary copy of The Great Taste of Success. And
awesome.
A Greater
Thank you.
Taste of Yes, definitely. But A Greater Taste of Success is just going to be the second volume of it, The Great Taste of Success. And I just have different concepts that I explore, and then I explore Christian principles, positive thinking, perspectives, relationships, and then we just have proverbs, about 7 proverbs for each category, and they comes up to, then I have one bonus proverb, so it's 50 proverbs, because the first one was The Great Taste of Success. It was 50 proverbs. And in it, you'll have a profound statement, and then you'll have information that kind of further elaborates on the profound statement. For instance, my first proverb in the first book was, in order to pursue a dream, one must first have a dream. Mm-hmm. And then I'll just give information that further elaborates on that concept. And everybody who's received it or purchased it, they love it. You know, some people use it for devotion, for meditation, and it's just very inspirational to those who have read it. I've received nothing but positive feedback from The Great Taste of Success. But, of course, you know, some people have already received The Greater Taste of Success, and they love it as well. But, yes, that's basically it. It just gives positive encouragement, gives information concerning spiritual growth and enhancement and personal growth and enhancement, relationships, destiny, gifts and talents, success tips. All of those things are in there.
That's awesome. And we thank you so much for blessing us with it. And thank you again. You were a former Toastmaster. Can you tell us about that? Yeah. I actually am interested in taking that because as a radio host, you know, we can, you know, speak, but we're not being seen, so it's easy for us. And I also am an actress, so when I'm on stage, I'm okay, but you know, I'm okay performing, but sometimes speaking in public, you know, I tend to get a little nervous. So tell us about your experience and how did that help you in your career?
Well, it was an awesome experience, and I couldn't stay in it longer than I did because I began to work during the times that they would have the meetings. But what it did, it just gave me more experience as a speaker, and it kind of broadened my horizons because you had to create a variety of different speeches, and so that kind of helps so you can be able to do just all types of speeches. Then you even had to do impromptu speeches. And what happens whenever you're able to just get more experience with speaking, you just get better and better and better at it. And that's basically what it did. But it also helps with leadership as well. You know, they just teach different concepts that help you to become a better leader as well as a better communicator. But I think the most important aspect of it is that you get the opportunity to speak. And it's a group that's going to embrace you, and you don't have to be fearful or embarrassed, because everyone in there is trying to become a better communicator. And so it's not in front of an audience that could be cruel and mean and boo and all of that stuff and make fun, but you're talking about people who are pretty much there with the same intention and agenda as you, which is to get better at communicating. And so as you explore those variety of speeches that you have to do, you just get better and better at it, and you just get that experience that you need so that when you're in front of an audience, it just becomes second nature and it becomes normal and natural for you.
Wow. I definitely am going to look into taking the Toastmaster class. They have one here at Morgan University, and I've kind of shied away from it, but listening to you explain it, I think I'm ready to dive in.
Yeah, definitely. I would encourage anyone who does any type of public speaking or is interested in going in that direction to go ahead and do it. I had a friend of mine. She had the same. She had a serious speaking phobia, and it just was horrible. And she came into it when I was there, and once I left, she ended up doing excellently. As a matter of fact, I think she's still in it. She's like a leader, one of the top people in it. But she always thanks me for inviting her and letting her know about it, because it is just turned her speaking and communication skills around. I mean, she's done a 180-degree turnaround, and she just loves it, and she's doing real well with being an effective communicator. So I encourage anyone, to get involved if at all possible.
And then your talk show, Motivating the Masses. Tell us a little bit about that and what exactly it's about. Do you have guests on your show? What the audience you're trying to reach?
Okay. Well, yes, Motivating the Masses, it provides direction, inspiration, and education concerning our daily lives. And what I do, a lot of times I teach just different concepts from the Bible that we can make applicable to day-to-day life situations, problem and solutions, and problem-solving skills. It's just teaching people different concepts so that we can live daily, victorious lives. But yes, I do bring on a variety of guests. I bring on professionals. I bring on authors, speakers, other talk show hosts, ministers, you name it, business owners, and we just try to inspire everyone to go for their dreams and to pursue their destinies, because that is so important. That's what life is all about, and that's what we try to do with Motivating the Masses. And basically, as far as the audience, it's a diverse audience. I've run into old elderly people who say they tune in and they love the show. I've run into children at my children's school. They're excited. They see me. They're like, "Hey, you come on, my mom and I watch you," or whatever. So it's a diverse audience. That's why we call it Motivating the Masses, because it just has a mass appeal, and it's relevant to so many people. And people could actually go to my YouTube channel. It's Mr. Darrell 1, MrDaril 1, and they can look at some of the episodes that we have there. But yes, that's what it's all about. Just providing motivation and inspiration, and teaching the Bible and just different concepts to help people with their day-to-day living.
All right. Well, this is Miss J.
And Miss Versatile.
Right.
And we'd like to thank you very much for coming aboard at the Sugar Shack. And as we said before, you're welcome to come back anytime. And our listeners have definitely appreciated listening to you.
Tell our listeners where they can find you.
Okay, they can find me at DarrellDaril.org. That's my main website. Then they can also find me on Facebook at Darrell Music, Daril Music, and also on Twitter at Darrell1, Daril1. And as I mentioned earlier, the YouTube is Mr. Darrell1. And that's the number 1 when you put 1. But we appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully the listeners were blessed, and I'm just glad to be able to talk with Miss J and Miss Versatile, and I'll be keeping in touch with you guys. And what I'll do, I'll email you the ebook, Miss J, and I'll have to get your email, Miss Versatile.
Okay, I can inbox that to you.
Okay, inbox it to me. But thank you guys, and you guys be blessed.
Thank you.
We definitely were blessed today.
You too. You guys do the same. God bless you.
You too.
Thank you.
This is your girl, Miss J.
And Miss Versatile.
And we'll be back. You are now listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
If hemorrhoids, you cannot have a colonic.
Well, I had hemorrhoids when I had the baby. All that pushing, he blew my behind out. Okay. But they've been cured, after I sat in that little pool of whatever the mess that you do at the hospital, and then they give you a little, prescription afterwards, and so it's been cured up. But, yeah.
Did you have laser? Did you have laser surgery to remove them?
No, it wasn't like that, Carl.
Okay.
How you doing?
Okay,
Mine
sorry, girl.
mine back was blown out from having a baby.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just making a joke.
Yeah, but I just wanted you to pass that on because, I think it's a good thing about colonics.
Yes.
But I was so disappointed when he said, no, because you got hemorrhoids, you cannot get a colonic.
Well, sweetheart, why don't you get your hemorrhoids fixed? Is it impossible because of homosexual sex?
No, because you know why? Because that doctor with the Z that you went to?
Yeah.
That's the one I went to, and they totally screwed it up.
Dr. Zismore?
Don't say his name.
Why? No,
because I don't want him to get any business.
First of all, he's a dermatologist. So I don't even know why you went to him for a colonic. Look, listen to me.
No. I went to him for the hemorrhoid.
No. Go to a general practitioner. Why are you going to a dermatologist to fix the damn hemorrhoid? Carl, please.
Okay.
Go get your hemorrhoids fixed. You can get hemorrhoids fixed now. Am I detecting that you're a gay male?
Yes.
Yes.
How you doing?
How you doing? The thing is that you might want to get your hemorrhoids fixed and stick with being a topper more than a bottomer so that they can really heal.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm tired of buying Preparation H. I'm tired of it.
Well, the thing is that you got to lay off taking it and just start giving it more.
Oh, see, but I'm a bottom girl.
Yeah, I understand that. Then your behind is going to forever stay blown out, and you're going to forever stay, bloody in the sheets. Shout out to Tigger. You understand what I'm saying?
Girl,
all right, I know this conversation has gone left, hasn't it?
I know. Okay, hey, good. About your CD is the bomb.
Thank you, Carl.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Big Tigger, I'm sorry, but his two-way, he's probably already changed his numbers. How you doing? Au revoir.
Join the club that gives you stuff.
Hey, thanks!
Radio Loyalty.
Here's how it works.
Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right? Radio Loyalty. Click that banner to join now.
What's the name of my show? The Sharon Nixon Show. What's my show about? It's going to be about fashion, life, and you, the listener. When can you hear my show? Did you just ask me when you could hear my show? You can hear my show every Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Are there going to be guests? Oh, my God, yes! Oh, my God, you don't want to miss it. My guests are hot. Yeah, I think I do. And you ask what station? Well, what other station would it be? BeExposedRadio.com. How can you get in contact with us? Well, you can call us 1-855-835-5857, extension 1. Or, there's an or. Yeah, there's an or. Or you can text us at 443-642-9403.
You are now listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Join the club that gives you stuff.
Hey, thanks!
Radio Loyalty.
Here's how it works.
Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right? Radio Loyalty. Click that banner to join now.
Do you have troubled skin? Acne? With Proactive, you can heal your acne and help prevent new breakouts. Right now, in this radio area, we're looking for just 50 people with moderate acne to demonstrate exactly how fast Proactive works. The first 50 callers who qualify can try Proactive risk-free for 60 days.
Call 800-388-7152, 800-388-7152, 800-388-7152.
Welcome back. This is Miss J.
And Miss Versatile.
On Be Exposed Radio at the Sugar Shack. And we have our special guest, David Gallery, on the line. Welcome, David.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you this afternoon.
Oh, thank you so much. You are such the busy man. You are doing a lot. You are an author, a third-generation fine arts dealer, at the young age of 65, and you don't look it, so...
Thank you. I don't feel it either.
I bet, and you look very well for your age. So,
thank you.
Can you give our listeners a little taste of who David is?
Sure. Aside from being a third-generation fine art dealer, I'm also an author, a photographer, and a musician, and all kinds of other interests. But I grew up in a fine art dealing family, and at the young age of 16, I lost an older brother to suicide. He was 22. So that kind of shattered my life. And then 8 years later, I lost my dad at the young age of 58, and it reached a point where I said, you know what, I have to memorialize my father. So when I have kids, which we didn't have yet, they would know how incredible a human being he was. He was my mentor. He was my everything. And, the short, fiery existence I had with him, I wouldn't have traded for another 50 years with somebody else. So I wrote this book, and it took me decades to write it. It's called Baderfield, How My Family Survived Suicide. And I needed to write this book. It was cathartic for me, but I needed to write it to tell my family's story because I think it's really important to reach out. And when you have an event like that in your life, you need to share it. You need to help other people with it. So my goal was to pay it forward by writing this book and sharing my experience to help, to help someone else out there who might be thinking about taking their life, to show them that they're not alone, they're loved, and there's always tomorrow. And as bad as things look today, there's always a chance they're going to get better tomorrow. Today passes, and every day you get up is a gift. So, I really had to relive a lot of pain to write this book and to get it done correctly. I had one shot of getting this thing out, and I knew I couldn't screw it up because if I did, it'd be too late. It'd already be out there. And when I wrote it, I had a hell of a time getting a publisher because everybody said to me, well, it's too personal. And I kept thinking, yeah, you're right, it's too personal. You missed the whole point. It's supposed to be too personal. But suicide's a tough subject. It's an ugly act. And when this happened in the 1960s, people turned their heads the other way. They didn't hear about it. It's just one of those things that's repugnant to the public, and it's just you must be sick. There must be something wrong with you. Well, the only way to survive something like that is to get help and to expose it, like any other disease, to find a cure for it. And even though there's no cure for suicide, there's help out there today to mitigate the problems and to stave it off so that somebody might actually choose to live instead of dying. So, I wrote this book, I put my guts into it, and only when I got an editor from a publisher who said, we want you to rewrite it movie style, did I get excited and say, okay, great, because all I heard was movie. And then I said, what's movie style? And they said, we want you to tell it. We want you to show it, not tell it. We want dialogue. So they showed me how to do it. They didn't tell me. I had a great editor. And I rewrote the book in 6 weeks. This was after 25 years of torment and trying to put it together the first time. And when I rewrote it and created dialogue, my characters came to life. And everybody who read it after that said, oh, my God, I can't believe how much you've exposed of your family's inner workings. I feel like I'm part of your family. Other people would say, I feel like I want to be part of your family. I'm sorry I didn't know your brother. I'm sorry I didn't know your father. This is great. Thank you so much for writing this and for doing this. And it gave a lot of people a lot of hope. And, I don't know how many lives it might save, and I don't really need to know, but I do know that I've put it out there, and if it saves one life, then I've done something good.
Right.
And that's the key point. You don't know, just speaking to someone, who you're touching at the time, because people go through and experience things on a daily basis, and some people, they don't know how to cope with whatever it is that they're going through. So with that being said, with your brother, and sorry for your loss, were there any signs that your family can think back after all these years and you writing the book? Were there any signs that were presented that no one at the time, like you said, it was back in the 60s, that could have prevented it?
We didn't see anything. He seemed to be very happy and free, but his Army Reserve unit was about to be called up to go to Vietnam, and even though there were methods at that point to prevent that, because the war was kind of turning tide a little bit. We didn't know. I mean, there was nothing. There was no reference of any sort beforehand, and it just really blindsided us. No note left or anything. So, we've lived with this mystery all our lives. And I guess even at this point, even if we'd known what it was, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't bring him back. I mean, he's with us in spirit. That I know. I've had visits, but at the same time, in the physical, he's not here, and there's nothing you can do to bring him back. So, in 2020 hindsight, if we had seen something, even something very subliminal or very subtle, we would have acted on it and done something, because it would have been out of character, out of his normal behavior. We would have noticed, if he were giving all his possessions away, or if he were just reclusive and kept himself alone and abandoned his friends. But none of that happened. There were none of the telltale signs. So it was really a shock.
So with your experience, and suicide is a very delicate conversation to have. A one-on-one conversation is delicate, or with a group of people it's a delicate conversation, because people do not like talking about death. So with that being said, when he took his life and your family was going through this ordeal and coping with it and trying to understand it, back in the 60s, and your parents had to deal with this, was there any group counseling or individual counseling given?
Well, initially we banded together as a family, and my eldest brother and myself were out to protect our parents, and our parents were out to protect us, and for a while we talked about it, then we didn't talk about it, and I mean, you couldn't ignore it. The gap was there, and the pain was there, and the shock was there, and we were all struggling to get back to life. But yes, I mean, there was psychiatric intervention. I mean, suicide is something that's so big that it's almost impossible for somebody to handle it themselves. When you think you can, you can't. You really need help. And I had the benefit of a psychoanalysis, because a couple of years later, well, actually it was 4 years later, I was in my senior year of high school, college, and I was in senior year of high school when this happened, but when I was a senior in college, I came home after school, after I graduated, and I began to unravel. I was getting these feelings of unreality, and I was leaving my body, and not in a good way, and I was petrified. And my parents were heads up enough to see that something was really wrong, and they got me the right psychiatric help that I needed, and it saved my life. My eldest brother got help, and my parents got help. They got psychiatric help, and they got intervention of clergy. So we pooled all of our resources and took advantage of every avenue of help that we could find. And God knows, I don't know if any of us would have been able to survive without it. I mean, my dad only lived 8 years afterward, because I'm sure that he internalized it and blamed himself for not seeing it. I can't even fathom losing a child. There's nothing worse, nothing. And my mom lived to be 94, but she was there, and she had lost 5 brothers and sisters over the years, her parents, and a child, and then her husband. I don't know quite how she did it.
But she had you.
She did, and I think she had my brother and myself. I think were probably the only reason she had the will to live anymore. After my brother took his life, my parents were in a really bad way, and my mother had told me years later that she and my father had been talking and said, we have 2 other children. We have to get back to life for them. So I think that was the one redeeming factor, the fact that we were there. And, we all helped each other and protected each other. But, without that, without professional help, forget it. I mean, this thing's a monster, and it just, look, you never get over it. You can only learn to live with it as best you can. And that's all you can do. You learn to cope.
Mm-hmm. And the coping mechanism from the 60s to now 2014. Do you think it's a little different, or do you think it's the same? Since you're the expert, what have you learned from the beginning of your experience to where you are now, all these years later? Where do you find that the help is out there? Do you think the help is about the same, or the help is a little different?
Well, I think today the help is much greater. I think that the awareness level of suicide and the wrath of horror that it leaves behind has been much more exposed than it was in the 60s. You didn't talk about it in the 60s. Today, if someone's suffering from depression, whether it's a chemically induced depression or if it's something that's just genetic or hereditary or situational, there's help out there. I mean, there are a lot of crisis centers and there are a lot of suicide hotlines, and it's a different world today. I mean, people know that, well, most people know, if they're not so entrenched in the darkness, that they can't see past it, that there is help out there, and all they have to do is make a phone call. If they talk to a family member, a clergy member, a bartender, a doctor, a hospital, 911, anybody, and any of these suicide hotlines, they're there for you without judgment, without criticism. So it's a brave new world today, and it's much better than it was. And unfortunately, the numbers of suicide today are much greater than they were in the 1960s also. I mean, 1 million people a year worldwide take their life. And that number grows every year. And the problem is you don't hear about the ones who attempt it, who fail. And that number is anywhere from 10 to 20 times greater than the ones who succeed. I mean, thank God, it's that way instead of the other way around. But there's so many more people who contemplate it and try it that the statistic is just, it's epidemic. I mean, it's wild.
And the thing is, the ones who do not go through with it, meaning they didn't succeed at taking their lives, what do you think the percentage of them trying it again?
That is something I'm not sure of, but I'm certain that a number of them will try it again, and some will try it several times until they do succeed. But hopefully, someone decides, hey, wait a minute, I don't really want to do this, or I got lucky, I lived through these pills, or they stopped the bleeding, or they cut me down before it was too late, or, I survived the gunshot, and they wake up and they say, oh my God, what did I do? I almost took my own life, but I almost ruined my family's life and my friends, so hopefully people don't try it a second time. I know a lot of people do, but hopefully it's a wake-up call for them to realize how close they came and that they've got the gift of getting up again.
Exactly. And with the statistics of suicide attempts, they're stating that a suicide attempt happens every minute of the day, every 14 minutes. Someone dies by suicide. For every 14 minutes in an hour in a whole day. That's astronomical.
That's a scary number.
It is.
Yep. And I will tell you that in the military, 1 a day, and among veterans, 22 a day take their life. Something's really wrong with this picture when this act is so pervasive. And it's not just kids who are breaking up, or the boyfriend broke up with them and they're desolate and they're going to take their life. It's people who are elderly, who are infirm, who just have no hope anymore, and it's across the whole spectrum. It's male, it's female, it crosses all races, it crosses all genders, all age groups, all religions. I mean, it knows no boundaries. Suicide, it doesn't care. And when you look at the statistics, it's really scary.
And then the ones who contemplate it, write their letters, do a video, seem like they're happy, and then actually go through with it. And then you have the ones who do not leave anything behind, and you're guessing why. Why did they do it? What was so bad? And I don't think, well, as an outsider looking into a situation, a person will always say it can't be that bad, but you're not that person.
Exactly.
So you don't know what frame of mind that this person was in. So you're looking at them as a vibrant person, young, old, or however they are, and behind closed doors they're fighting demons that they can't get rid of.
Exactly. Sometimes they can't express them, or they don't want to. You know, there's something that's deep inside them that they can't share for whatever reason, or feel that they can't share. And that's a shame, because if people knew that they could talk and they wouldn't be judged, because I'm sure that a lot of people are judged. You know, people look at it, what are you, crazy? How can you even think that? Well, that's the wrong thing to say to somebody who is on the verge of such a dark depression that they don't see any hope.
And when you said that, in general, people will always say, oh, that's crazy. And you're right. You don't know when you're saying, oh, that's crazy, in just a general conversation to someone, in their frame of mind. So it's like you have to kind of, I won't say tiptoe on your words when you're speaking to people, because you don't know when you're talking to someone really behind that mask what they're going through. So sometimes your words could be an encouragement. I hate to say that.
Right. No, you're right, though. I mean, it could push somebody in that direction.
Yes.
Just because.
And you're not even really knowledgeable, or the smallest words could just set them off. And when you were mentioning the military, and they're saying there's so many young veterans, and it's insane how many young veterans that there are in the world that are coming back and pretty much have lost everything. They have no hope. Their mind has been demolished from the wars that they've been in, and they don't have any hope or which direction to go into before they enlisted. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that it's very true, and it's very sad. You know, these folks come back with the fog of war, and they've seen this horror and devastation, and you know that becomes an imprint in their mind, and they've got nightmares, and they've got tremors, and you know, and that in itself is horrible to deal with, and that really needs a psychiatric intervention to help these people. But then again, when they come back, sometimes they've lost their jobs, or they have to fit back into the world, you know, the way it is here, and it's not a battle scene or a battlefield, but it's different, and there are different rules and regulations here, and sometimes they're just snubbed, and they're looked at with disdain because they were in war, you know, and they're just, I mean, these people fight for our freedom. I mean, we should be eternally grateful to them and not criticize them or be judgmental. The military is one of our greatest assets that we have, and these people put their lives on the line every day. And, you know, they should be commended and they should be cheered when they get back. And, you know, at the end of the Vietnam War, which we didn't really want that war, but our kids went over there anyhow, and a lot of them came back. If they came back, they came back limbless, and they came back mentally scarred. And, you know, they were looked at with disdain, and it shouldn't be that way. You know, and the judgment that was cast upon them was terrible. And I think a lot of the same things happen today, even when they come back from war. Just not a good way to treat people.
No, and many we find make a suicide attempt, which they're seeking relief from feeling ashamed or guilty, or like they're a burden to other family members. They're feeling like a victim, feeling of rejection or loss or loneliness, and that's a horrible thing to go through by yourself when you feel as though you cannot turn to anyone. So the book is a great read, and I recommend it I also recommend therapy, and therapy is not a shameful thing to do. It really isn't. It's such a cliche of going to therapy. I don't think that, me personally, that it's such a cliche, because everyone needs someone to talk to.
Right, and it saves lives.
It saves
What's bad
lives.
about that? You know, I mean, there's no shame anymore. Everybody goes to therapy for one reason or another, whether it's marriage counseling or it's just general psychological balance or, you know, fighting demons or whatever. I mean, thank God we've got it.
Exactly. So, because you're such the multifaceted young man that you are, so you're an author, and as we stated, you're a third-generation fine arts dealer. Can you tell us a little bit about your gallery?
Sure. My grandfather founded us about 1910 in New York, and my grandfather and father moved to Philadelphia and in the 1930s, and then we've been in 3 different locations here in Philadelphia, but right now we're just off of Rittenhouse Square on 18th Street in a 4-story townhouse, and we specialize in American and European 19th and 20th century paintings, drawings, watercolors, and sculptures. We still do 17th and 18th century old masterworks, and we do post-war and contemporary as well. We have 2 floors of exhibition space. The gallery is currently run by my wife, myself, and both our sons. We've got one here with us and one in California, and not a gallery, our sons. And we strive for the same degree of excellence that we always have, and we're committed to our clients and long-term relationships. We don't like one and done. Happens where somebody only wants one painting for a space, we never see them again, but we like to build relationships, so that's important to us. We've made a lot of friends through this business over the years, and we love what we do. You know,
Well, David, we're getting ready to go to break, and we want to come back with you. So this is Miss J.
And Miss Versatile.
And this is At the Sugar Shack, and we'll be back.
So, you know, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the station with all the hits and the Talk Lately show weeknights at 7 p.m.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. The only thing I didn't learn in school today is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy, busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait, Mom, what?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, huh?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Check out the splashback of the Talk Lately show.
Hey man, let's go back to some of these previous stories. Azalea Banks and T.I. are going at it. Apparently there are tweets that have gone viral that people are talking about, and it starts off, "You want no mediocre butt. Have you seen your wife?" That's what Azalea Banks starts off with. Then it goes to, what do you do when your wife can't read and they put it on national TV? Get your man. She's going in. At least I can read, LOL, Azalea Banks. Shortly after the comment, Tip's wife Tiny seemed to respond to Banks' jab. I mean, damn, bitch. Can't you ever just worry about yourself? A photo of Rihanna Reid on Tiny's... Oh, okay. Tip wasted a little time and shot direct threats at Azalea for attacking his family. "You musty mouth, thought, bot, bad body, syphilis, lip, rectum, vomit, unimportant, ugly monstrosity of a maggot ass bitch." Can you imagine that he is just twirling his neck all kinds of different positions, trying to say all of this? "You musty mouth, thought, bot, bad body, syphilis, lip, rectum, vomit, unimportant, ugly monstrosity of a maggot bitch. If you speak ill of my family again, I will end you." On Phil, on Doe. These are all hashtags. Hashtag no bullshit. People fall downstairs daily. You better watch your step, you ugly ass gremlin baby. Hashtag nerve of this cretin. Hashtag F cotta here. Oh, fuck out of here. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, you're not paying attention to the screen.
Text message. Go ahead.
Did you miss the Talk Lately show? Well, you can catch them Monday through Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello? That's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Check 1, check 2. Damn it! You think we can get some new f***ing microphones in this motherfucker multi-million-dollar show that it is every time I hold a mic and f***ing falls down? Hello? We have microphones that operate like 80-year-old men and no damn Viagra. Just limp. I got scoliosis from having to drag my body down to the console to deliver my message. If people only knew behind the scenes. I love it, though. I wouldn't know how to act if I actually had everything working and everything together. I'm so used to piecemealing. The mission statement of the show is, it is what it is. Oh, well.
Free stuff for you just for listening to this station. Yo, we got your attention? Here's how it works. You click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for cool stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple. Free stuff just for doing what you already do. Radio Loyalty. Click the banner to join now.
Welcome back. This is Miss J. Miss Versatile stepped away for a minute, and we are back on BeExposedRadio.com at the Sugar Shack. And we still have our special guest, Mr. David Gallery, on the line. David?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So, you do music. You're an author. You're a fine arts dealer. What else do our listeners need to know about Mr. David Gallery and what the world can expect from him?
Well, I'm also a photographer. I do the work for the gallery, but I also do my own work, and I use my images to promote works that we've got in the gallery, and I also do my own personal images online in different stock houses. Carry them. What else do I do? I don't know. My focus is really on dealing in art and also healing and helping people and using my darkest days to turn around and do something of benefit to others with them. And that's really important. And I've got other articles and books that I've written. My first book was Collecting and Care of Fine Art back in 1981. Crown published it for me in New York. I felt the need to level the playing ground so that people coming to invest in art weren't getting all caught up in the investment hype, that they were actually buying something that was worthy of being an investment. Because when you buy art, you need to buy art because you love it and you have the passion for it. You're going to be looking at this thing on your wall, and it's supposed to enrich your environment and make you feel good. And if it doesn't do that, then you don't want it. I can't sell art. People have to buy it. I can counsel them and guide them, but art is very subjective. It's beautiful in its own right, but every aspect of it appeals to different people. Some people like landscape, some people like modern work, some people like old master or 19th century. Some people like figures, other people don't like figures. I mean, we've seen it all. So the most important thing about that is buying what you like, because it is really supposed to take your soul on a voyage when you look at it. It's supposed to be an escape. And when it does that, it's a great piece. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a painting, a drawing, a sculpture, something that's abstract or something that's realistic. So I wrote this book in 1981. Crown sold it out for me. I didn't do it for money. I did it to help people, and of course it extended credibility for us, which was nice. And then I wrote Bader Field, which in itself, Bader Field, I should explain, if we have a minute, was a small airfield outside of Atlantic City where my father and I used to fly in and out of. He was a pilot as well as an art dealer. And that was the last place I saw him, so I kind of figured it was an appropriate place to start the book. I'm not sure I would call it that today, but that's where it started. And as the years went on, it became a much more important nonfiction family saga, showing how we all banded together as an all-American family, sidelined by this horrible tragedy, and how we all kind of muddled our way through it to continue to live. So for a while, the book was just called Bader Field, and unless you're from the area, nobody knew what Bader Field was. They didn't know if it was an airport or a baseball field. Nobody knew what it was unless you were local. So we realized that it needed a brand, and that's when we subtitled it, How My Family Survived Suicide. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when you see that, it jars you, and you say, there's a story here. I need to read what's in this book. You know, there's something going on. And it's not a depressing book. It's a very inspirational book. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I wanted it, you know. I mean, there are parts of it that are heavy. But for the most part, it's a great read, and it's not because I wrote it, but this is the feedback I get from people. People tell me how incredible it was and how they loved the book. And what I'm trying to do at the moment is find a way to make it mandatory reading in every high school in the country, because I think that's a target market where kids are most susceptible to peer pressure and other forces that can cause them to cave and to go into a depression and take their life. And the other longer-term goal that I'm trying to do is have it made into a film, because I think as a movie, whether it's a full-length feature, a short film, or a documentary, would have tremendous influence, a positive impact, because we live in a visual world. I mean, let's face it, you know, kids today don't read as much as they used to, except in school when they have to. Today they're all playing video games and they're all watching movies and they're doing this and that, you know, and it's really, whether it's on a cell phone, it's on a tablet, it's on a computer, a Game Boy or whatever, that's the way it is today. And I think if I can reach out that way, I'd have a huge positive inspirational impact.
And the thing is,
that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. This generation, there really is no turning back to the old school way. Everything is in your hand, in your back pocket, in your purse, in your knapsack, in your man bag. Everything is handheld. So there really is no such thing as reading a book or everything is online. And with that being said, I must say I'm so impressed by your artwork and your photography. It's absolutely beautiful. And the pieces, and your wife Arlene is beautiful also, just to let you know. So,
thank you.
You're welcome. And very impressive. And when you put the book out about how to basically the beginner of purchasing art, from the expert in trying to teach someone, how long do you think that process is, trying to teach someone the basics, the basic part of fine art?
Well, I think I don't think terribly long. I think that the initial gut response is how you respond to something emotionally when you see it, and being able to show people. And my father showed me that, taught me, and I guess I had it in me, the difference between good, better, and best. And there's a definitive line between each one of those things. And to be able to discern those three levels of quality is really important. I mean, it's more important for me as a dealer than it is for a client, because a client just has to buy something they really like. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, it doesn't matter. If they like it, that's what's important, because they have to enjoy it. And everybody's got different taste. But, it takes a while, and I always tell people, if you want to learn about art, pick up the art journals, read the newspapers, follow the auction records, go to museums, go to galleries, check out all the pricing, check out the different styles, until you figure out that you keep coming back to the same thing again, or the same school of art, and that that really appeals to you. I always tell people, don't buy anything initially if you don't know anything about art. Look around first, get used to it, and always deal with a gallery who's got a good reputation, and you can verify that with the museums in the local community, because if someone's got a good reputation, the museums will work with them, and they may go silent on saying, hey, do you know so-and-so gallery? If they don't say anything, that's not a good sign. That's the way to just avoid that. It's subliminal. It's there. Okay. So, the idea is to build up relationships. And if you go into a gallery and someone doesn't take the time to you because you're not dressed in a suit, or you're not seemingly wealthy enough or affluent enough to buy something
Sizing
on the wall,
you up is basically
right?
What they're doing.
Then leave, because it's happened to me. I've gone into galleries in New York in particular, just dressed in jeans and a shirt, not letting them know who I am, and I don't get a second look in some of these galleries. It's really amazing. It's astounding that people are so blind to humanity that they size you up by what you're wearing, and they don't look into your soul. They don't talk to you. They don't take the time to even get to know you. And people make mistakes like that. I mean, it's wrong to do that. We had a client come in once years ago. I wasn't here yet, but my father and my brother were. And this client came in, and he was carrying a briefcase, but he had muddy boots and jeans, and he didn't look like he had 2 cents to rub together. And he looked at an Andrew Wyeth painting that was here in the gallery and asked how much it was, and my brother says $90,000. He said, okay, I'll buy it. He took out his checkbook and he wrote a check. He owned West Texas. And, you'd never know what to look at the guy, but we treat everyone the same, with the same regard, and we don't care if they buy or they don't buy. Part of what we have to do, what we're designed to do, is educate people and help them to learn. And if they buy something somewhere else, great, as long as they're happy. I mean, would I prefer they buy here? Of course. But not everybody can buy everything in one place. The world doesn't work that way, and neither does our industry. So that's part of our community outreach. It's something that we feel really strongly about. We take our time with a lot of people. There was a young intern who came in. Actually, he wasn't even an intern. He was a med student at the time, years ago, and my aunt, who had been with us at the time, took a long time with him and showed him around and educated him, and he left and said, thanks, I don't have any money. And she said, I don't care. This is part of what we do. It's nice talking with you. She imparted a lot of information to him and shared a lot of what we do and what was on the walls and different schools of painting and pricing and whatnot. And years later, he came back when he was a physician and said, I was here years ago, and I did not have any money, and you guys took really good care of me. You took your time with me. You didn't care that I was not able to buy anything. You were just really nice to me, and you know what? I'm going to buy something here, and I'm going to be one of your clients because of the way I was treated. And, obviously we were thrilled, not just for the capital expenditure, but for the fact that he had the kind of faith in this, because one misstep in this business and your reputation of all those generations is gone. And we can't afford to do that. And we work really hard to maintain our pristine reputation, because that's all you have. You know, people can buy paintings anywhere. I mean, maybe not the kind that we have, but still, they're buying us. They're buying our family. They're buying our long-standing reputation, and they're buying our support and our backup, because we're here for them.
And looking at your impressive consultation and appraisal list, you've worked with everything from the Brandywine Museum, the White House, the Office of the Attorney General, the State of New York FBI, State Department, Philadelphia Museum of Art, Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, the Union League Club of Philadelphia, and an extensive list. And just a low ballpark figure, if you don't mind. What is a good starting point for someone who doesn't know anything about art, and then just walking in, what is a low ballpark figure?
We've got things that start in the, I would say, $1,000 range. You know, if you have $1,000 to $1,500, you can buy something that's really good quality. There are things that are less than that are good quality but may never get the recognition. And there are a lot of really good, talented artists out there today that don't have the reputation, they don't have the track record, and they may or may not ever have it. It depends on whether there's a gallery that's going to represent them and push their work because they believe in it. We've done that with several artists over the years, living and dead as well, that, you know, where we had to make a whole production. But I would say probably $1,000 to $1,500 is a good starting range, and that's not exactly chicken feed, but, you know, in the grand scale of things, that's probably a good entry level number. I mean, you can buy fine art photographs for a lot less than that. You can buy them for a few $100s. So there are things out there that are less than $1,000 that are really beautiful and they're really good. They just may never go anywhere. So, you know, for quality purposes, yes. For investment, maybe not. Hard to know.
So a quick thing before we have to end. So for an investment piece, so a person will walk in, buy some art, and they inform you purchasing, I think I want to do this as a personal or an investment piece. So if they're going to use it as an investment piece, where should they place the art? Should it be in a storage? Should they still keep it on their wall? Should they, of course, put insurance on the piece? So what is your feedback on that?
Well, our best suggestion is whether someone's going to buy it for investment or not, take it home and enjoy it, because what these things do is yield dividends and beauty every day while the value is growing. So why not take advantage of that and let it make you feel good? There are clients who bought things that say, you know, they'll come in and they'll say, well, you know, we've got $50,000 we want to park into art. We'll leave it with you for, you know, find you something you think will grow. We'll leave it with you for 5 years or whatever. If it grows, great. If it doesn't, well, you know, we took that risk. You know, and that's the exception to the rule. I mean, it's counterproductive because art is supposed to be enjoyed, and it's a visual thing. It's not like a piece of stock, you know, that you're going to stick in a vault or gold and hope it's going to grow in value. Most paintings, you know, and sculptures and works of art that are really high quality will grow. Especially, look, the kind of things we deal in are one of a kind. We don't deal in multiples. I don't deal in lithographs that are, you know, where there's like 2,000 of them, and because I don't play that game. We have oil paintings, drawings, watercolors, and occasional lithographs that are very limited in their production, because the greater the line of product, the least growth value potential you have. You know, if there are only 2 of a kind or 10 of a kind, that's different than if there's 3,000 of them. So just by virtue of supply and demand, there's a factor there that influences the value and the investment value. But in answer to your question, I think everybody should buy art and take it home and enjoy it. That's what it's for.
I like that answer. And as we stated, we're going to be taking a road trip coming to Philadelphia. And he here to the convention center in August.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yes, you were out when he was talking about it for the weekend of my birthday. Him and his wife are coming.
What weekend
in.
is that?
August the
21st to 24th of August.
21st,
Oh,
24th.
awesome.
Yes.
We're excited.
We will be at
Happy
we'll
Year
be at the Baltimore Convention. Yeah, we'll be at the Baltimore Convention Center exhibiting at the Summer Antique Show, and actually booth number 1701. So if anyone's listening, come enjoy, and we'll give you the tour and show you what we do.
All right. So you've been such a pleasure, David. Thank you so much for stopping through and blessing at the Sugar Shack. As I said, we would love to have you back. Can our listeners follow you anywhere?
My website is carleddavid.com. It's www.carleddavid.com. Don't forget the E in that Carl E. David. There's a fellow who gets very irate if he gets my emails. And our company website is same thing, www.daviddavidgallery.com. It's all one word, daviddavidgallery.com. My email is carleddavid@gmail.com. And if anybody's listening and is distraught or has a question or a problem or is ashamed to talk to anybody else, feel free to call. I'm here. I've lived it. We've survived it. You will too, and we can help direct you to get you the right kind of help. If you're having what seems like an insurmountable problem or a crisis or whatnot, we can at least get you, in the direction of getting the help you need. So don't quit. Don't give up. There's always tomorrow.
I love it. Thank you so much. And we
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. More than welcome. And we
Well, it was a great pleasure being with you.
Yes, it was. You definitely put an insight on everything from the death of your brother to your books to some fine art. And I know our listeners have definitely appreciated the conversation, as I know we have. So thank you
I appreciate
so
it too.
much.
You're welcome. By the way, the book name is Baderfield, How My Family Survived Suicide. If you look for it on Amazon or in the iBook store, the Apple iBook store, Kindle, Nook, Kobo, it's in about 60 different worldwide digital markets. You can download it for, I think, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, something like that. And it's in soft cover for like $15 or $16. But definitely worth a read. And not because I wrote it, but it's going to help a whole lot of people. And it's just it's a warm, loving, inspirational read.
Yes, and it will be up on our page also. So.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Well, we had a wonderful time with you, David, and we will follow up with you again shortly.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
And you're welcome. And we'll talk to you soon.
You bet. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Jay, we had an awesome show today.
We did. Great show. Thank you to you, sis. Appreciate you.
You picked some amazing guests. And I love the variety and the diversity of each guest.
Thank you. And of course, I can't forget our baby Robbie over
Robbie!
there. Yes.
We're all tired, but
pushing through.
Tired, but still in pursuit.
That's right, because it's Hump Day Wednesday. And at the Sugar Shack, we have the Talk Lately show. And then after that, we have the Jonathan Rashawn show.
At 8 p.m.
Yes. So make sure you tune in to everyone at Be Exposed Radio. We have had such a great run so far with being on Be Exposed Radio.
Definitely.
And shout out to Mr. Monty.
Producer Monty, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes. We hear him.
Artscape is this weekend.
I heard. Are you excited?
I am excited.
And I do want to purchase some art, so I gotta find out the time that it's over. I know I can't be there when they first start the run, but hopefully we can get down there soon.
The New Edition concert and Salt and Pepper concert this weekend as well.
Yes, I was trying to go to that too.
I will be going on Saturday.
You get ready to make me mad because you know where I'm supposed to be going, but I don't know because you know how long I've been trying to see New Edition? Do you know how long I've been trying to see New Edition? I haven't seen New Edition since I was a teenager, and every year I never go to the concert. But I said this time when they come to Baltimore in the area, I was going. But now I got to go out of town. But I might not because I really want to go to the concert. So, you got your ticket?
Actually, a friend of mine won it at a woman's event, and she's taking me as a late birthday gift.
Okay, all right.
So-
Nothing wrong with that. Well, I might have to change my plans because I didn't want to go out of town to see him. I wanted to see him here. Well, I know it's going to be live. With Salt and Pepper? No addition?
I think we're going to dress up as Salt and Pepper.
I know that's right. Why not? Let that inner teenage person come out of you with your stonewashed jeans cut up, your tube socks in different colors, and some high top Reeboks. Girl, and get a wig and cut it from the side, razor cut. You're going to do it. So, I cannot wait for tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday.
What you got for tomorrow?
You were supposed to have been bringing in somebody. I'm still waiting. Guess what we have tomorrow?
Who
You're going to
was?
have to leave for Thirsty Thursday.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I will not believe what.
We have a superhero
What?
tomorrow.
A
Yes.
superhero?
I'm going to leave it at that. a superhero, a real superhero.
A real superhero?
Yes.
Hmm.
And it's a good superhero.
Okay.
It's benefiting the young ones, and I like that. I like when someone gives back and is able to give back to the community and help the kids. That's what it's about. So we have a great show lined up.
Are you going to share at all?
No, I'll wait.
You're going to keep us in suspense?
Yeah. It's going to be enjoyable. I know it's going to be hecka funny, so I can't wait. So we have a lot of good guests. Oh my God, I don't think our listeners are really going to be ready for what's coming for At the Sugar Shack. They're going to be thoroughly surprised every day in the next couple of weeks. And this is your girl, Miss J.
And Miss Versatile.
Live at the Sugar Shack on Big Exposed Radio. Y'all have a great evening.
Deuces.